stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. But Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know anymore. Stops my bones from wandering just why am, oh who am I? Well, some nights I wish that this all would end, 'cause I could use some friends for a change. And some nights I'm scared you'll forget me again, but some nights I always win. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. But Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Ceremonial Witch back. Couple recordings every day lately. Hey, what the fuck? I'm enjoying it. This is not the recording. That's going to be the part 2 to the recording, or the show. I keep saying recording, and that's because I record myself. But this is not going to be the part 2 to what I put out last night for the subconscious mind, and putting a name in there to protect yourself. I got kind of cut off at the end there too last night, which was just to say, if anybody's praying in for you to change or to get out of the occult or whatever, that is something that is selfish and shouldn't, goes against your will and all that. And, if you don't have a strong frame or belief system and truly believe in this and all that, that can affect you. And I've already went over why and how the banishings help with that aspect of getting rid of anybody's mental images and visualizations of you being or doing a certain thing. That's all I was trying to say at the end. And it also helps with your manifestations because, you are asking your specific mind to do something. You've named it, you called it out, and you are changing it from, just Corey LeBlanc to something else. Corey LeBlanc is your mundane name, which is still going to filter down through, because I'm proof of that. When I was doing this, I had a few ideas I had a few kind of like, is this really going to work? Like, if I rename my name something else and I'm trying to get money to come to Corey LeBlanc's bank account, well, if I name my subconscious a different name, and that's what's doing the manifesting, then how's that going to work? But it's not like that. It is still attached. It doesn't matter if you name it a different name or not. That helps with the mental side of it, meaning like if someone's trying to wish harm to Corey LeBlanc, well, they didn't get the name of my subconscious, so they can't do that. But if you are the one manifesting, then it's not going to happen. And in your name, your Corey LeBlanc and all that, it's not going to stop, because if people want to send you money or send you stuff like that, you're not changing that name where they can't find you. That is your mundane, your 3D name and all that. And because your subconscious is kind of spiritual and it runs your life, it's your connection to the divine, it should not be connected to, it can be. People, I don't know if everybody does this or not. Like I said, this came to me kind of out of nowhere one day, and it's the process I did. But it's worked very well. I'm not subjugated or getting attacked or anything like that by any means. There are things that happen, but I truly believe that. It's just because I don't tell my friends or family that I'm into this. So there's really no reason for people to attack me now that I'm putting stuff online. Maybe if someone doesn't like what I'm putting out, or they think I'm stupid or whatever, then there's reason for stuff to happen. And I've had some weird stuff happen. Like I said, my phone just broke recently, but it already had a crack in it. Last night, the story I'm about to tell you is kind of about some darker energy, but it coincides with what's been going on in my life. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So this is not the part 2 to the renaming the subconscious mind. After I did that video last night, after the issue that I'm about to talk about, or the thing I want to teach about, so there's a lesson to be learned in it. After I speak about that, after all that happened when I was laying down, when the weird stuff was still kind of happening, all that stuff came to me, and some more stuff came to me that I forgot. Now I haven't looked at my notes or opened up the recording yet, but I'm going to be doing that after this video, so stay tuned. It probably won't be today, but you never know. If I get time tonight and I find it and I put everything down, then there's a good chance I may put it out tonight, but most likely it's going to be tomorrow. But what I want to talk about is something it goes with something I said earlier. I was watching the Higher Self channel, and someone made a video, and it inspired me. And earlier, I was writing stuff down about the pendulum swing that was coming to me via my subconscious mind and all that, and how to effectively use that concept through the Kabbalion. A trick you can use if you're not aware of what to do. So stay tuned for that. That'll probably be in my next episode, because the stuff that I forgot, I don't know how much about it, how much information I did actually forget about the subconscious mind, and I don't know if I'm actually going to put out my exact script out there or not. So there should be time, and I might hit the pendulum swing stuff, because in this day and age, in this fluctuation of money and cost of living always going up and debt on the rise and stuff like that, it's going to be a good concept to know and to incorporate in your life. But that's not what today's about. I talked about Black and Indigo, a girl who was also on the Higher Self channel, has her own channel. She's an astrologer, she's a Christian witch, and she's got some great concepts and some great channeled information, or she's currently doing a book, and she's great. I think she's absolutely great, and she's the one gave me inspired some ideas in my head. I get an idea from someone, and then I think about it, and then I start getting information that I don't know this stuff. I've never studied this stuff. I never whatever certain things, and then all of a sudden I get all this loaded of information that I get correspondences to compare it to, and other things like that. So, and she was talking about the whole Trump thing a while back that I brought up. If Trump is bad and evil as a person and trying to do bad things, it's ultimately going to do good in the end, because it's going to unite people and make a change. So that's a good thing. That's how you should be changing your perspective. Instead of focusing on all the dark and bad shit that's happening and that Trump can or cannot do with his power, we should be focusing on what it's going to prompt people to do, how this new election in 2020 can change. Probably nothing's going to happen through the election. It's going to happen after, or during, or whatever. But for something to be fixed, it first has to be broken, and then you can fix it, or sometimes have to rebuild. And so whenever you start seeing destruction and things breaking down and opposition against you and things like that, it's a good sign, believe it or not. It actually is a very good sign. It means that people are attacking you because they're scared of you. It means that people are scared of the change that you're inspiring to make and build and have. So it's a very, very good thing that when you reach opposition and you see this. Now, this is probably not what happened to me last night. Oh, and first, I do recommend looking at Higher Self, even though it's very new agey, and you'll see some paradoxical information on there, like differing points of views of people. But I tried to put my stuff on there, and they were willing to look at my stuff. I think they kind of let anybody who falls under certain guidelines post their stuff on there. You're not allowed to swear in your stuff, and that's why my first initial, when I was in my New Age Law of Attraction phase, I never put my stuff on there because I was swearing in it, and I don't want to go back and edit it. That might have gave me the people and a fan base, or get people to look at my original channel. So, but I never followed through with it. I was kind of, oh, what was me? it didn't work out. I thought this is what my purpose was. You know, that kind of bullshit. Now I know that's just a self-defeating attitude. That's not going to help anything. You know, help yourself first. And if you know this stuff in your head that you should try this, but you're too fucking lazy to do it, you're just going to blame other people, you're a fucking idiot. And I don't mean that in a mean way, because everybody's like that. I was like that. I'm basically calling myself an idiot for how I acted then. But it was for a reason. I wasn't ready to put out videos yet. It's debatable now if I'm ready, but I am only going to talk about the things that I've done and worked on, and or anything else I think I can get a lesson from. So on my money, I keep wanting to say money over bitches. My Magic on a Budget new show. I put out the intro. And I talked about how me and my wife for the last month have been arguing. There's been some kind of negativity, lower vibrational energy between us. Something sparked something. And I mean, I know she has a problem with what I'm doing. I know she has a problem with me not working and thinking I'm manifesting magic in my life. And she can debate it all she wants and keep saying every time was a circumstance. Because I mean, the 10 grand 4 times is not all I've been living on for these last fucking 2 years. I mean, it's only 40,000. I mean, 40,000 is enough in 1 year, you know, but in 2 years, that's only half of an income, right? And yeah, if you add that to my fucking, what I'm pulling in, because I am on unemployment, which I've been on unemployment longer than you're supposed to be allowed to be on unemployment, and I wasn't even qualified for unemployment, and I got it. So, but that to her is also coincidence, and that's fine. Magic is coincidence, because when you do a magical ritual, it's going to take the path of least resistance to come to you, and it's going to look like a coincidence. But we know it's not. I let her believe what she wants to believe, but it does hinder us whenever she puts me, or, sorry, I don't want to blame her, when she is negative and I let her affect me and I take on her negative charge, and then it fucks up with my shit, because any magical operations I'm trying to do, I can still use that negative vibration to bring things to me. You can, but it's not ideal, and it's harder to think about something you want when you're in a negative state of mind. It's not impossible. I talked about it yesterday on my money on a budget thing. That's kind of the whole premise of that episode, after speaking about what I'm going to speak about. But and so we released that, okay? If you haven't watched that episode, go for it, go watch it. You'll kind of know a little bit more what I'm talking about. But we released it. We got over it. The last few days, we've been better. I know I talked about makeup sex and all that on my episode. But we've been great. The last couple of days have been great. But my daughter, Sienna LeBlanc, my youngest daughter, I talked about her astrology, ascendant, and the descendant line. You got your AC and your DC, and then you got your IC and your MC. Well, her AC and DC is the opposite of mine. So your ascendant is going to be where your sun is, right? Normally it's right around there. No, most of the time, not always, but that's where mine is. Okay, my sun is right below my ascendant line, so it's in Taurus as well. So my ascendant and my sun are both in Taurus. So is my Mercury. So is my north node, or you have your north and your south node, or in Vedic astrology it's called something else, K2 and Rahu. Anyways, it's all in Taurus. But that means my identity, my ego, who I think I am, how I look, how I act, and all that is going to be based on Taurus. It's what my conscious mind is going to think I am. And my subconscious mind is going to be the DC line. It's going to be the Scorpio. And my daughter's the opposite. She's going to be thinking she's like a Scorpio, and her subconscious mind is going to be a Taurus. Now, when I say think, you mean that's what you are. You take on those characteristics. I want to look good. I want nice things. Venus is in my second house besides my moon, which is the money house. Well, not a money house, I guess, but it's also, anyways, I'm not going to get into that. That's not what I want to talk about. But, so we're the exact opposite. And I also have my Uranus in the 8th house. 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, blah, 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 blah. So I got some Scorpion, and I can feel some energies. Now, I'm not psychic to the point where, I could fucking predict a murder or what just happened when I go in a room, but I can feel energies. I don't always see them, but I can as well. And lately, whenever there's a strong energy in here, good or bad, things happen to me when I sleep. Sleep paralysis and stuff like that. Now, it's not a sleep paralysis to where, it's as crazy as the stuff on TV. however, or on YouTube talking about it. But I do and have had those things happen where there's a dark force, a dark energy on top of me when I look up, or 3 dreams inside of a dream, continuously waking up and having some kind of negative projection while being aware that it's a dream. Or, you know what I mean? It's like I'm in the same exact setting. I fall asleep in my bedroom and I look over at my wife and she's trying to kill me. And then the next one I wake up and I try to tell her what just happened and her eyes go red. And the next time I wake up, she's not there. And then there's this dark being on top of me. And then the 4th time when I finally wake up, it's actually the real thing. So that was one of the first things that started happening to me whenever I started getting into the new age stuff and I started raising my vibration. That was one of the first things that happened to me. And I still get those. I want to say about 3 times a week. I still get it, but I don't get the dark energy anymore. And to me, it's because I've gotten out of the low vibration. But sometimes it's like telling me that there's still negative energy in here. And normally what I do is I cleanse the house. I'll do a cleanse of my aura. I'll do a cleanse of myself. And then I'll cleanse the house. And I do that when the people aren't here. Now, me and my wife just got over this fight, this very negative fight that has been lasting for about a month. And we just got over it. It's been 2 days. And my daughter has been sleeping very well. And then last night, she was screaming. Now, she was tired, but she would wake up screaming and scared screaming, like she had a nightmare screaming. But she never fell asleep, just over and over and over again, to the point that we didn't know what to do. Couldn't do anything about it. Could not do anything about it. It was driving me fucking absolutely crazy. And, give me 1 second. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to play a song, and I got to answer, get my kids inside the house there that have done school. All right, give me 1 second. Enjoy the song.
Speaking for my sister and the comments she called off. And then I look into my nephew's eyes. Man, you wouldn't believe the most amazing things that can come from some terrible lie.
All right, and we're back. So where was I? Okay, so yeah, we got over this fight, and my daughter was screaming all night long. They tell you after 15 minutes if they're still crying, there's something wrong. So we gave her a little bit of Tylenol. She was a little warm. It was very hot yesterday. I want to say it hit 36 here. Right now, my thermometer outside is saying 30, and that's generally either a couple degrees hotter and colder, and don't ask me how it's possible. It's normally just one or the other, but yeah, it's normally either 2 degrees hotter or 2 degrees colder, and it's mainly because of where the sun is in the sky. Sun's behind the shed, where the thermometer doesn't hit, then it's colder, and vice versa. If it's hitting right on it, then it's hot. Anyways, the point of the story was, it wasn't until that, I wasn't going to go into her room and do this. So in my room, put my wife in the bed, trying to ignore it, because I kept telling her that's what we have to do, I think, anyways, because we kept trying to go in there, and the more you go in your kid's room, the more they're going to keep doing it to see you and all that. So we stopped doing that, and I started visualizing that I make a circle in my room. I was going to start doing the lesser banishing of the pentagram. I was going to do a whole ritual right there, but I decided, I'm going to do something different, just use my imagination and whatever. So I draw the circle on the floor in my room. I visualize it in my head. I'm actually just standing still right now, facing east, and then all of a sudden, I picture my daughter's room, and the fire circle appears right in front of her window, and I'm going to be facing east, right in front of her bed, kind of in the middle of her room. And then after the fire circle is already there, I picture myself coming up through the floor and being in there simultaneously as I'm there. Now, instead of picturing myself up in the astral, I just pictured myself in that room, but that being like a universe, so to speak, but still knowing where everything is in that room. And yeah, I start with my Kabbalistic cross, and I visualize my higher self going up into the astral, but me still staying in that room. And I do the Kabbalistic cross, and then I begin to do the lesser banishing of the pentagram, and I start with the thoughts, because that's what I wanted to banish, was the thought forms that are of negativity that was in the house / entities, whatever, because you could be thinking someone's cursing or attacking you, but if you're very negative, you're attracting that to you. So it could be not someone sending something to you, it could be just what you attracted. Or likewise, you can create your own thought form / a servitor. A servitor is something you kind of consciously create. It's kind of like when I say everybody's doing magic. It's kind of like when I say everybody's doing magic, whether they know it or not, and the difference between you doing magic on purpose and them doing magic that they don't want to do. That's kind of the difference. It's the same thing with the servitor and a thought form. A thought form is something you can create unintentionally. Even magical practitioners who are aware of this concept can do it by dwelling on something too negative and putting emotion into it and create some kind of negative entity. And I have a feeling that between me and my wife both fighting over this, and me trying my best to control my emotions and not have that happen, like when I was in an emotional state and upset with her, I was doing my best to not put any emotion into when I'm thinking. And if I was very emotional, I was doing my best to not think of anything negatively. Like I said, I would try to figure it, even when I was so fucking mad, I would try to think of my manifestation, my latest, whatever I want to occur or banish. And right now, with the moon, it's banishing, something I wanted to banish out of my life, which, negative energy could be very good for that, because, you want to pull something out of you, depending if that's what you want to do. Unless you want to push something away, then positive energy could work in that way. But anyways, besides the point, I did my lesser banishing with the lesser banishing of the pentagram, with starting at the air way and then ending back on the air of that, and then you do your circle. And I did it in starting at the east, and then I did it the opposite way because it was banishing. Or sorry, I didn't start in the east. That's the nice thing. I started at the earth. And it went backwards, going from earth to water to fire to air. Now, some books say not to do that. Some books say to do that. This is the way I do it, and it's worked pretty good for me. And it worked last night too. So in the middle, and I did my middle pillar after that. I'm still in my room, but visualizing in her room and visualizing I had a very good imagination, and visualizing myself in the astral, my higher self in the astral. And then in the middle part, I was talking to Mercury. Hey, Mercury, what's going on? Because it was his day, mostly. I thanked all the deities for all I've ever had and all that. And I then thanked them for getting rid of anything that's lingering in my house and anything that could be affecting my daughter from sleeping. Stuff like that. I was very vague about it because I didn't really know what was going on. But my idea, the thing I was thinking about was that there's some kind of negative thought form that me and my wife created, because it's been a month of having this negativity eat at us, and we both released it, and now it can affect us because we're both in a higher vibration. And when my baby's trying to sleep, when she was upset because she didn't want to go to bed, technically she could have been down in that vibration, My 13-year-old Austin, he's going through some tough times, hitting puberty and all that. Just broke up with his girlfriend. He could have brought some negativity in his house and then released it whenever he met his new girlfriend, and and then we latched on to us. So who knows? Anyways, all I know is whenever they all leave tonight to go somewhere, I'm doing a fucking house cleanse. But I forgot to mention, while I was doing the lesser banishing, both of them too, because after I spoke to Mercury and all that, I do another lesser banishing the same way as I did the first one, and then I finished off with my Kabbalistic cross, and then I see myself back into my room, and then as soon as I leave through the center of the floor, I see the circle close in that room, and then I actually close my circle. That's how I did it. Now, use your imagination to whatever you want to do. If you're having issues, people having trouble sleeping, whatever, entities, whatever. But yeah, whenever I did the lesser banishing, after doing the actual, all the stars and all that, before me, Archangel Raphael, behind me, Archangel Gabriel, at my right, Archangel Michael, at my left, Archangel Oriel, for about me, flame the pentagrams. Now, I saw them in the room, in the astral as well, but I was mainly focusing in the room. And I said, so within me shineth the six-rayed star. And when that happens, I see them all point their staff or sword or wand or pentacle or whatever they have in their hand. And I see the energy come and make the six-rayed star within me. And then I asked Archangel Michael to banish anything in this room that is of low vibrational energy. And this is when I visualize the whole room becoming a flame. It's only an astral flame. It doesn't actually hurt anybody. My daughter couldn't see it, but I see it being a complete... Oh, okay. All right, go back and watch TV, please. And then I see the flame just take anything out of there. Now, I wasn't visualizing any entity or anything in there because I didn't want to give it any more energy. So I just wanted to see the flame and destroy and just assume that it was gone, because that's another thing you can do. If you start thinking you're under attack by something and you start putting energy into it, then you can actually create something that may not have been there in the first place, and that's something you don't really want to do. But it worked. After I'd done that, okay, now when I started the whole process, she stopped crying, and after I finished it, I laid down in bed and she never woke up again, which was absolutely amazing. Go get her. That was absolutely amazing. And I don't care if she just fell asleep or whatever the case was. The point is, it worked. And today, everybody's happy. Everybody's in a good mood. And, maybe I don't need to do a cleanse, but I'm going to do the overkill fucking thing again and fucking do a whole fucking house cleanse. I don't give a shit. And that's basically what I want to talk about today, is opposition. I don't know, that's some kind of opposition that I was seeing. Now, was that created by myself or was that sent to me from somebody else? I don't know, and does it really matter? I don't think it does. I dealt with it, and it was great. And, after all this, I'm in my room laying down, and I started getting those shocks, feelings, and stuff like that. I don't know if you ever had sleep paralysis, but for me, when I know sleep paralysis / some people say astral projection starts off this way too, you start feeling like an energy shock or electricity feeling. I don't know if that ever was the case, but that was happening for me last night, happening over and over and over again, and I don't know what to make of that or not. And then I look up, and there's a shadow above my altar, and because I put protections up around my bed when I sleep. I got my wards that I carry on me. I put them down on the ground in like a pentagon kind of shape, right? Kind of mimicking a star, depending on how I want it. I move it different ways and all that. But put that up, and I put some other protections up. And I'm laying on my bed, and I look above the altar in my room, and there's a shadow on the ceiling, and it looked like a fucking head with horns and a tongue coming out of his mouth. And to me, is that an entity in the room trying to scare me? Who knows? That could just be the way my candlelight, because I only have one candle going at this point. Could be the way the candlelight was shining off of like a Mercury, for example, because I got all these little, pieces of metal that I've made that symbolize Mercury, Mars, Venus, and all that, The Mars looks like the Mars symbol, the Mercury looks like the Mercury symbol, which looks like a Venus symbol with the two little horns, right? So it technically could have been that, because that was kind of on a side, you would see the two horns in the head, and then could have been something else, like my incense sticking out that was lit, could have been looking like the tongue, I don't know. It was just kind of cool and symbolic in my head that, because a couple of months ago, I would have saw that. I would have got pretty scared. Probably would have turned on the light, went downstairs. But I started laughing, and I'm like, and I was thankful. I was thankful for that sign. Like, if I'm having opposition right now, it means I'm doing something well. I'm doing something great. I'm actually, and if you are opposition, then I feel bad for you that you can't feel love and you can only feel this hate and this jealousy, and you have to thrive off of fear. And it went away. The fucking thing went away. And it's weird to say, but my candle didn't get any brighter. I didn't turn on any lights, and all of a sudden that shadow wasn't there anymore. But yeah, I laughed it off because Frederick Xavier says a good banishing is laughing. If you can laugh and think about something pretty funny for 5 minutes, you can banish a lot of things just by doing that, or just by talking about love, saying I love you. And that's what I was doing. I was saying I love that I'm having opposition. Love that you guys are trying to bring me back down to a lower vibrational feeling like you did before, because they succeeded the first time a long time ago, bring me back down to lower vibration. I got mad that my videos didn't take and nobody was watching them, and I got upset, and I started back into fear-based media, and then I stopped getting the things at night happening. I actually did drugs a few times way back then, kind of like relapsing. And I was very down on myself for a while for doing that. Now, I didn't keep doing the drugs, but I was very down that I did that. I ended up telling my wife, and she got mad at me. I'm like, I'm telling you this because I want to be honest, but I understood why she was mad and all that. But the point of the story is that, if you're having opposition, if you're having a tough time and all that, do your best to fucking power through it, to get through it, because you have to go through the dark night of the soul. You have to go through your dark stuff. You have to examine all your programming that fucked you up or fucked you over, or you've had trouble with in the past, just to get to a great state of mind for the future. And if you can't pass that, if you can't get past and stay in a high vibrational field or a loving emotion, you don't, like I said, I don't want people to think you should always be loving and then push the bad stuff on the carpet. No, you got to deal with these things when they come, as they come. These are little lessons that life's trying to teach you. It's not always just going to be debt and, little things. Sometimes it's going to be big things. It could be an entity. It could be bad energy. It could be a loss, a death of a pet, of a family member. And you have to work through these things to get to the other side. Part I like about witchcraft is we celebrate life. You don't, probably ceremonial magic too, but you don't mourn when someone passes away. You remember their thoughts. They've moved on to a different plane, and you celebrate that. You're still going to miss having their presence around you in the physical and laughing with them. And, you think about it. And it's not that you're not allowed to get sad. You should not get sad. If you're going to get sad, you can get sad. You deal with it. But then change your mindset around, and realize that there's always going to be a piece of them with you. There's always going to be their essence here with you. Everybody's always around you no matter what. But that's a little story I wanted to tell you about what happened last night. Like I said, after I did that, she stopped crying. She stopped crying as soon as I cast my circle, basically. Even before the one in her room appeared. But the scorpion is one of the best healing signs. That's why a Scorpio, the snake is one of the scorpion signs. It starts off with the snake, and then it's the scorpion, and then it's the phoenix. The snake is one of the most healing signs and all that of scorpion. It's one of the most psychic signs as well. I'm not a Scorpio, but my subconscious is. So if I can get in touch with my subconscious mind, it could really, I could really probably do some good healing stuff. And I think I've already said in the video before, like my dog, when we got my dog, she was limping a lot. She looked a lot older than she does now, and she's fucking jumping around. She doesn't limp at all anymore. My wife had ovarian cancer, and she's never had anything come back to her, and she never fucking will. And I thank the gods every day for that. And there's a bunch of other little things I could tell you about that I'm not even aware that I had anything to do with. But now that I know about my astrology, about my grandmother having powers and all that, it could be just that. I could be protected by my ancestral fucking witch fucking family here, talking to them, because I do speak to them and ask them for answers when I want to know stuff about my witchcraft and stuff about my past and stuff like that, and I get the answers. Doesn't matter if it's actually coming from them or not, I get the fucking answers, and if I can look it up, it's almost always exactly what I got. But that's what I want to do and say, and I'm going to see if I have a little more time. I'll give you another little tidbit of information and lesson. Just give me a moment to figure out what I want to put on next. All right? Here, enjoy this song.
Well, I woke up to the sound of silence that comes, cutting like knives in a fist fight. And I found you with a bottle of wine, your head in the good tar like the 4th of July. You swore and said we are not shining stars. This I know, I never said we are. Though I've never been through hell like that, I've closed enough windows to know you can never look back. If you're lost and alone, or you're sinking like a stone. Carry on. May your path be the sound of your feet upon the ground. Carry on. Carry on, carry on. So I met up with some friends at the edge of the night at a bar of 75.
Alright, I'm back. Just want to speak a little bit about opposition crap there, a little bit longer. Only about 9 minutes left. And yeah, whenever you're having opposition and negativity or anything like that, it doesn't even have to be like the things I was talking about, and it can be like your debt and all that. I know I talk in circles a little bit, so sorry about that, guys. Still getting used to talking online to people that I can't really see and see the reactions on their faces and all that. I'm not a big fan of talking in public to people, but when I do talk to people or help people out, it's easy to go off their emotions and keep talking and explaining what I need to explain. But the opposition you receive, whether it is from your wife, it's from your kids, it's from your other family members, whether it's from debt and things, circumstances happening to you, anytime you're having trouble, you're in this good place, you're learning all this stuff. Even, let's say you've manifested a few things in your life and you're feeling very positive and happy. And then shit starts happening, starts punching you in the fucking dick or the box or whatever the case is, someone gets sick in your family, and shit like that keeps happening. Bad stuff. Or it could be, like I said, negativity in the house. You see your kids start changing or whatever. Understand that it doesn't matter whether it's someone casting on you some negativity in your house or it's just circumstances and things you need to pay attention to. It's there for a reason. It's not there to take you down. It's not there to hurt you. A lot of people think Saturn is Satan. That's where it comes from, or Christianity turned that into. But a lot of people think Saturn is a dick just to be a dick, and he's not. He's the limiter. He is Father Time, the Grim Reaper. He destroys to rebuild. He's the one who, like I think I already said this. To fix something. First has to get broken, or to rebuild, you have to destroy something, you have to demolish it and all that. And that's kind of what Saturn does. He sets limitations for you. Some of those limitations you may not be able to overcome, and some of them you will, We all have a limitation that we can't fucking fly and just get up and go like a fucking bird does and shit like that. But we found ways around that. Someone fucking, I forget the brother's name that came up with the plane, but they found a way around Saturn's limitation. So humans can fly. Point is, these obstacles, these limitations, whether it's an attack or it's just circumstance that are shitty, you need to get through them. If you can't remain positive or all happy about your shitty circumstances and be grateful for those shitty circumstances, which is fucking hard to do. You have to have absolute faith that everything's going to work out in the end to do that. And if you're not at that stage yet, that's okay. You don't be listening to all this crap online telling you have to remain positive and this and that and the other thing and be all happy all the time. Like I said, on Prozac or whatever. You deal with your emotions. If you're having a shitty time or your wife's giving you opposition or whatever, you need to talk to her. You need to deal with it. And you got to understand, you can't blame other people. You can't be judging other people. But also understand that this opposition is there because you are advancing. I said in a previous episode that when you do your initiation, you're basically asking the universe to, all right, I'm ready. Send me my life lessons a lot faster so I can get through this process a lot faster. So I'm not fucking 70 or 60 when I finally discover what I need to do and it's too late. This is what you're basically telling the universe. So you start your initiation and you start manifesting things and you start getting some shitty circumstances or some opposition. Well, that's what you basically ask for. So don't get upset with it and don't let it overpower you or win. And if it does, understand that's part of what was supposed to happen. That's how you learn. We almost always learn better from our mistakes, from our fuck-ups than we do from actually, just listening to somebody say, hey, don't do that. Okay, I'm not going to do that. how are you going to learn from that? Well, they'll tell you their experience, why it didn't help, and that's kind of what people online are doing. They're teaching, giving people their experience to help. But, I also say 95% of that is just not going to, it's going to sink in, you're going to understand it, but you're not actually going to put it into practice. Hopefully you do some of the stuff, hopefully you do, but when it happens, you're going to be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. Okay, well, he said it's all right if I fucked up, and it was part of the thing, and it is, and that's what I want everybody to know. I don't want to be like, oh, if you gave into the darkness and you started yelling at your wife and you got all depressed, and instead of staying at home waiting for your passion or purpose to show up to you or trying to find that, you ended up taking that job because out of fear. That's okay. If that's what you had to do at the time, then do it. You're going to learn something from that. I did that. Like I said, when we manifested, my first manifestation, when we got the car, it's whenever I got a job. I lost my job. I was off for a while. I was enjoying life, but I had so much opposition, pressure from my wife to go back to work so she could spend more money, in my opinion. But that probably wasn't it. She was just fearful, and rightfully so. I mean, it's not an easy time to live in when you don't have much money and you have 4 children and mortgage and a car payment. But I mean, as soon as I got that job, we got another car, which is great. It was part of my manifestation, but she added another car payment to her debt. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, are you kidding me? But anyways, point is, everything's going to happen for a reason. Understand the opposition, understand the attacks, understand the shitty circumstances. If you can be grateful and remain positive, awesome, but don't just sweep it under the rug and just not pay attention to it and hope it's going to go away. You need to have absolute faith that everything you're doing is for a reason. And even if you end up going bankrupt or losing something, that you're going to be better off in the end after that, unless you create it. You just start spending stupidly because I'm not going to worry about it. Well, no, then Saturn's going to teach you a fucking hard lesson. If you were doing anything with planetary magic, Saturn's the first motherfucker you should study. Sorry, I don't know, disrespect Saturn. Saturn is the first god a planetary god, planetary body, planetary energy that you should study and need to get on your side. You need to understand where he is in your chart, and from there, you'll probably understand some of your issues, some of your problems. Getting your chart and seeing where Saturn is in your chart is going to be huge, all right? Like I've said many times, he's in my marriage house, and I've been talking a lot about what my wife does that I don't like, and it might sound like I'm judging her, and maybe I kind of am, and I shouldn't be, but no one's perfect. You can depolarize, you can be evolved, you can meditate every day, you could fucking go fucking help the homeless and all that, but you're still going to be polarized in some way. You're still going to judge people slightly, and you need to understand that you're doing that and continuously try to improve, try to receive balance in all places. But the main thing I wanted to get across today was that opposition, the attacks, the things that are trying to take you down is because you're doing well. If you're having opposition and shit's hard, it's because you are important, you are powerful, you are amazing, and you're going to do amazing things. And whatever this negative energy entities, whatever this opposition is or controlled by, is scared of what your potential is, what you can and will do. So it wants to keep you down as long as it possibly can. And if it keeps you down long enough, you will create a habitual habit out of being sorry for yourself and feeling like life sucks, and you'll just give up. And that's the worst thing you can do. I want everybody to understand that these things are happening to you so you can push back against it and rise above. And technically, that's probably what they're there for. It's probably not to keep everybody in a low vibration. It's probably not to keep this world as fucked up as it is. Everybody thinks the evil's here to just keep the world in evil, but evil's probably here to make us all rise above it and get better. The evil is here so we understand it and we learn from it and we never do it again, and we all uplift each other and become stronger. So that's my take on it. If you have opposition, it's because you're fucking awesome and you're going to do some fucking awesome shit. So please remember that and go counter it, Don't just ignore it, and don't just fucking let it be, and don't just, oh, I'm not going to deal with this shit, or I give up. No. Understand it, laugh at it, love it, say, you know what, I know you're here trying to do this, but fuck you. I'm going to do me. I don't care what happens. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll be back on probably tonight. maybe another ceremonial witchcraft one, or it might be the Magic on a Budget show, but there will be another show coming up later today. So farewell, have a fucking good one. Ceremonial Witch out.